Hey guys, good afternoon. It's me, Cali, the Witch. I'm super pleased to be bringing you the 9th installment of the Gypsy and the Witch's creative journaling journey. For the month of April, our theme was the Fool. And whether you think of the Fool in the tarot, or the Jester in the King's Court, or the Fool on the Hill, the Fool really wasn't a fool at all, but a very wise person, and was usually entrusted with deep secrets and had much magical knowledge. So I'll show you what I did, my interpretation of the theme. I had a lot of fun making this page. And if this looks like something you're interested in seeing how I created, I would love it if you'd stick around and check it out. And when you're done watching the video, make sure you check out my dear sister, the Gypsy, Miss Rita Marie, and also check out our group. I'll put all the links below, the Gypsy and the Witch on Facebook. So stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so let's get started. I've put down some wax paper behind and over here, and you can see this is still, that's from the stencil that I used last month that I kind of just flipped over on the side, so that looks pretty cool. And I decided to pull out some of my Tim Holtz ideology paper and use this today. It's tissue wrap, and I just cut a slice. And I thought we'd put this down, and I like how the pattern is showing through it. I mean, we're going to put things on top of it also, but I like how that's showing through. And to put this down, I'm just going to use my handy dandy Americana decoupage, and I've poured some in a palette dish, and I have my brush, and we're just going to slop this down and lay this tissue wrap down. And I know that you'll be shocked to realize that I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with this picture. And that's okay. We're just going to follow the muse. And I went to look for some papers today, and I saw the tissue wrap in there. And I said, oh, I haven't played with that in a while. So we'll put that down, and I have a little spatula here. And I'll trim this up once we're all done with everything. And I'll just try to make it as smooth as possible. And let that dry. And I think I might come in with some gelatos, or I'm not really sure. But let's let this dry. I'll trim it up, like I said, and I'll be back in just a second, and we'll see where we're going to go next. Okay guys, this is dry now, and I was going to use my gelatos, but I changed my mind. I decided I didn't want to risk them lifting up because, you know, I always put layers of wet. So I decided to use my Derwent Inktense blocks. And I'm just going to go in. Hopefully these will stay translucent and I'll be able to see. I have a water brush, and I'm going to go, I think I'm going to keep it bright for now and just kind of do a little yellow in the center, and then go out with some orange and red. Just very light. And again, I think I may put more layers on top of this. I have a paper towel here. I'm just wiping in between. Now we'll do some orange. I love these Inktense blocks. I don't use them enough. They're vibrant. They're permanent. They're gorgeous. And look at me not using purple and blue. Just yeah, these will be perfect because again, I'm not going to lose the background underneath, but still you'll get that vibrant color, and these won't lift up when I go to put more on top, and you know I will. And then yeah, every time I use these I say, oh boy, I should use these more. And now I'm thinking of maybe drawing a figure or a face on some watercolor paper and adding it in on top, and that will be my fool. And maybe I'll draw a hill and put the fool on the hill, one of my favorite Beatles songs. Again, I don't want to cover up too much of this background, but we'll see. Sorry about that, you guys. I've been having technical difficulties this week. My computer shut down in the middle of filming, so hopefully I didn't lose the footage of me doing this, but I finished it, and this is what we're looking at right now. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and like I said, I think I'm going to take some watercolor paper and maybe just sketch out either a face, yeah, something like that, and then I'll paint that separately and add it on, but we'll see when this is dry. Okay, so I'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, I'm sitting on the couch just sketching out a fool, and I wanted to show you what I came up with. So I'm going to take her, and I think I'm going to use some magic marker. So I'll break out my magic markers, and she's just very simple, kind of dancing, throwing a ball around, doing some juggling. So I'm going to color her in and cut her out, and then we'll put her on the page. Okay? So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so let me show you where we're at. I finished our fool, and I just used Sharpie markers. And I actually cut her feet off because I think they're going to be hidden. And if not, I'll just draw in one of her shoes again. But I didn't do this hand because I knew it was going to kind of hang off the edge. And let me see if I can move that down. There you go. I am going to be doing some type of a hill that she'll be climbing on. So I'm not going to do it with this white paper, but this is just kind of a pattern I'm going to use. And then maybe I'll do a little edge over here. But I thought I would use, I have an old gift bag, and I thought I would use this down here. So I'll either cut the paper from here and use it, or the other side, I'm not sure. And that we'll put down here. And then I want her to be juggling, and I'm not sure if I'm going to actually put words on the balls that she's throwing or not, but I'm going to be using these really cool papers that I got from Danielle in my Happy Mail, and I'm just going to cut like balls from these that will go in the air. Let me see, I'm trying to keep you guys so you can see. So like up here I'll glue those down. And I also found a couple of butterflies in my stash that I thought I'll fussy cut them a little. Maybe I'll glue them down here or something like that. Just talking out loud. And then I also thought, this is a coffee filter that I got from Dina, Milady Leela here on YouTube. And I thought maybe if I cut strips from this or rip strips from this, that I could kind of glue them across the top and it would look like a sky. So that is my plan. Sky Earth, air, fire, and water. Sky, mountains, fool, balls, and butterflies. Okay, so I'm going to get everything cut out, ripped up, and then I'll come back and we'll start gluing them on. But before I do that, because you know it's just not busy enough back here for me, I thought that you can't go wrong with a few things. Sometimes bubble wrap cures everything, printing with bubble wrap, or sometimes just adding some circles. So I put down in my palette dish right now some of my Americana acrylic paint in titanium white, Snow White. And I'm going to use this, just a lid jar, spice jar lid. And I thought we'd kind of just use that to make some random circles on our page. Because, you know, and they'll be covered up, but just to kind of break up all the action. You can barely see them, but they'll look great and they'll add a nice element. And I also thought of maybe doing some spatters as well. So I brought out a toothbrush, an old one, not one that I'm currently using, and maybe we could do some spatters. Let's see, I think that's enough circles. And set this aside. I have a, still with the white, I'm going to use the spray bottle and just add some water to this. Makes it easier to spritz with. And like I said, have the toothbrush. And we'll just kind of mix that around. And I'm just going to do some splatters. I meant to do them a little finer than that. So again, it's not really showing up on the camera, but they are there, and I will bring it to you closer to show you. I like that. I debated on doing like a darker splatter too, and I may still do that maybe once everything's on there, but there's a big drip there, which really doesn't matter, but let me show you guys. You could kind of, yeah, you could definitely see them. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to cut out everything that we talked about, and I'll meet you back here when it's time to glue all the elements down. And I decided for a border, which I'll probably change my mind, you guys know me. I'm just going to kind of use either black acrylic paint around the edge or my ink pad, but we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. See you in a few minutes. Okay guys, I've gotten everything cut out. I didn't glue anything down yet, but I'll show you what I decided I'm going to do here. The sky, if you will, I just ripped strips of the coffee filters. So I'm just going to use my Aleene's tacky glue, whoa, to glue this stuff down, and then I'm going to go over everything with a coat of Mod Podge when we're done. So that's the sky, and then I've decided I've placed our fool on a hill, and these are just the bottom of that gift bag I showed you. Okay, so I'll glue those down. It looks a lot lighter on the camera than it actually is. It's a little bit darker. I cut out the butterflies. I'll place those down. I've put one of her feet like behind the hill, and then this one's kind of like she's stepping up. So I will be making a shoe for her foot. What else? The juggling balls I cut out of those gorgeous papers that I got from Danielle Loves Art. And I used I had gotten a new stamp recently. I used this stamp. Can you see that? There you go. To just kind of give a little design on top of some of the ones. Some of the ones I left alone, like these. I don't know how she did these papers, but they're beautiful. Anyway, yeah, so those are the juggling balls, and I think that's it. So let me glue all this stuff down, and then I'll be back to show you. And then it's just going to be a matter of I'll be outlining and adding some squiggles and things like that, and we're going to call it done. So I'll see you back here when everything's glued down. Okay, I'm making some good progress here. I got everything glued down. Look at the shoes. I love them. I had a little bell on the end here. Oh, here it is. Look on the other side. Maybe I'll leave it there. Look at that. But it was sticking over. Anyway, I want shoes like that. Everything's glued down, and I'm going to get you some up close. I remembered, I love those balls. Aren't they cool? I remembered that I had my silk acrylic glazes. You know me, I love these things, you guys. So I just used the purple, the gold, and the like fuchsia, or what is this called? Jasmine, to do the pink and the purple, the skirt, some of the detail work in this leg, the stripes, and the shoes. So that's all glued down, and now the next step, I'm going to use one of my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. Probably, I like the brush one the best. And I'm just going to outline around things. And then I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on it. And I'll take my, we'll do a border too. Okay? So I'll get back to you in just a second when that's done. Okay guys, I think we're finished now. I outlined everything with the Faber-Castell brush pen, and I kind of smudged it a little bit with just a wet paintbrush to soften it a little. And I went around the edges for a border with this Americana multi-surface satin in black tie, just on my finger, and I kind of just smudged it around. I put a coat of Mod Podge on it, and we're going to call it done. Not going to lie, I'm kind of in love with it. And I hope my dear sister, Miss Rita, loves it as well. And make sure you check out her video for this month's theme, as well as our group, the Gypsy and the Witch. I'll put all links below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, I would love it if you do. We'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll definitely see you next month. Take care.